Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Price, and I will be your child's Honors English 3 teacher this semester. Welcome to our Fall 2020 open house, an open house unlike any I've ever seen before. So please bear with me as we move through the technology and get to know each other a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to request of you is just to take attendance and see who's here. So I'm going to type this link into the chat feature of our Google Meet, so you can click on it directly from the chat, or you can go ahead and type this address into your browser. Please keep in mind that it is case sensitive, so make sure you capitalize where you need to capitalize. It will take you to this form, and it just asks for your name, your student's name, your email address. If you would like to receive Google Classroom Guardian email summaries, I'll talk more about what this is later, but in a nutshell, these are daily or weekly emails that contain updates on the class. So missing work, upcoming work, class activity. If you would like to receive that information, let me know. And lastly, just provide me with anything that you would like for me to know about your student. So their learning styles, their strengths, their challenges, particularly in English, or any interests that you believe would help me to know your student better. So once you've filled that out, I'll give you a minute to do so. I'll talk a little bit about who I am. So I graduated from Duke University in 2006. I was an English major, and I did so many Shakespeare classes that I ended up with a minor in theater studies as well. My first job out of college was at Oxford University Press. They have an office in Cary, and I worked for them as a library sales rep. So I worked with libraries and colleges around the U.S. and helped them decide on products that they might need for in their media centers. So web-based products and also print books from Oxford that would help round out their library. It wasn't for me though. Sales was not for me. So in 2009, I decided to go back to school, and I got certified to teach at NC State. I loved being a student again. I wrote for the Technician while I was there, and I also started my master's program. My first teaching job was at Eastwake High School. I did my student teaching and then a full semester of actual teaching out there in the school year of 2009 to 2010, and then I joined Leesville in the fall of 2010. So this is my 10th year at Leesville. Go Pride! All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the course so you know what to expect and what your students will be reading and focusing on this semester. So historically, Honors English 3 is focused on important and influential pieces of American literature from the colonial period to the present, and that hasn't changed. However, every English 3 course in Wake County is using the same course structures and resources during this period of remote learning. So the required reading list that I would normally give at this point in the presentation, I'm not going to give you today because it's likely to change as we receive new information from the county and from state leaders. But we will work on developing Common Core aligned standards and skills in reading, writing, speaking and listening, and language. So that has not changed. However, the texts that we use are going to be prescribed to us by the state, which isn't that different, but everyone is going to be teaching the same thing at the same time. I do know what we're starting with, and we are starting with The Great Gatsby. The list of units and readings is incomplete for the rest of the units, so we're still waiting on units 2, 3, and 4. But every single one of these units is going to have an anchor text or a major work, and our first one is The Great Gatsby. We'll also be doing supplemental readings that connect both historically and thematically. We'll be using images and videos to round out the curriculum as well. So the first 4 weeks, we'll be reading The Great Gatsby, which is online. However, if you want to get your own copy of the novel, you're more than welcome to do so. However, the entirety of the text is available electronically. I want to talk a little bit about the learning platforms that we are going to use over this unprecedented semester. The 3 major ones are Google Classroom, Google Meet, and Remind. Students should be familiar with these platforms from remote learning in the spring. However, if they are not, they should definitely reach out to me for technology support. Students will use their Wake IDs. Most students know these by now, but again, if they don't, please have them reach out to me so I can get them that information, because they must use their Wake ID to join the appropriate Google Classroom class period. Earlier in this presentation, we talked briefly about Guardian email summaries. If you would like to receive these, this comes straight from Google Classroom. Since this is where I'm going to be posting all of the information for students, it's helpful for parents to know what's going on too. So if you want to get these summaries from Google Classroom about missing work, upcoming work, and class activity, please let me know so I can add you to the list so you can receive those summaries. Google Meet is where we will virtually hold class daily. There is a unique code in each Google Classroom class that students can click on to join that live instructional period. It will be the same one for every class every time we meet. And lastly, Remind. I don't know if you can see this at the bottom, but Remind comes to your phone as text messages. So this would be reminders for due dates and expectations and things like that that come to their phones, kind of like any other text message or notification would. So I encourage all students to use Remind as another means of communication. So you guys have probably seen my virtual classroom. If you haven't, then you can get to it from the Leesville homepage, or you can get to it through this presentation. And this has helpful links to Google Classroom, Remind, and some other things like the books will take you to the Media Center. This Leesville icon will take you to the Leesville homepage. Twitter will take you to my Twitter account. So it's just a good one-stop shopping for all of these links. The first week is mostly for orientation, and you probably know this already, but I just wanted to let you know the first week will not be core instruction. It will be getting orientated to each other, getting to know the technology, establishing norms, and then the week of 8/24, core instruction will commence. And again, you have probably seen the schedule, but it's down here at the bottom. And also I've included a link to my remote learning class schedule. So we'll be doing class the first part of the class period. So the first 40 minutes will be for live instruction, and the following 30 minutes will be for office hours. So if students have questions or they need extra help, they will see me during office hours. And then the 40 minutes of live instruction is when we'll be actually holding class. I am going to pause here and let you all ask any questions that you may have. This is a strange semester, but I'm looking forward to getting to know each of your students and having success in English 3.